So we're going to talk about grading. And this part is important. In the course where you've been working today and building, I want you to go ahead and click on Settings. And we're going to turn the new gradebook on. So you guys are only going to ever use the new gradebook because by the time you guys come on board, the old gradebook is going to be gone. So what's the point in me showing you the old gradebook? Because we're getting rid of it. So in the settings of your course, we were in here earlier and we looked at the course details tab and we looked at the navigation tab. And now I want you to click over to feature options and you want to turn your new gradebook on. Now, this one says beta, but this isn't scary beta. This means that for right now, it's an option that you can decide whether or not you want to use it. But at some point, that beta tag will be gone, and this is just going to be part of Canvas. So it says beta, meaning that you can select it. But I do want you to turn it on because we're going to take a look at the new gradebook only. We released new gradebook in the winter. And the reason why we didn't make everyone use it is because for our K-12 friends who would have been in the middle of a school year, we would have had meltdowns because their gradebook all looks different, and even though it is better. So right now it's a choice. In the summer, we'll replace all the gradebook with just what you're seeing today and what we're going to be calling new gradebook. So now you'll see new gradebook when you're in your course. You don't have any students in there yet, unless you've clicked and you've been clicking around, and I know a lot of you have been. If you've clicked on student view, then you do have a student enrolled in your gradebook. So some of you may have noticed that on the very home page of your course, you've got this student view button. And the first time you click on student view, it enrolls test student in your course. Test student now lives in your gradebook. It's going to always be the last line in your gradebook. It's not going to count for or against your course analytics. While you're working as test student, it will put a big pink box around your screen to remind you that you're in as test student. It will keep all of the work you've been doing as test student unless you reset it. So it's nice if you want to submit assignments as test student to see how grading feels or looks, or a lot of people use it just to see did I publish things? Can students see it? What is it going to look like to them? So the very first time you click on test student, it will enroll that test student in your gradebook. And then you'll be able to see that as you've been adding things into your course today, those have been building out for you in your gradebook. So as you've been putting them in there, putting point values on, they've been creating those columns in your gradebook for you. And let's see, I'm going to go in the training course where you guys have been working today and show you the gradebook in there because it's just a little bit more interesting than the one-line test student. Oop. And I have to turn new gradebook on. So new gradebook and old gradebook are very similar. You're just going to get more options in the new gradebook. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that one on. When we look at the gradebook then, you're going to have all of your students already enrolled in it, so they're already going to be in your gradebook. You can decide if you want to look at them individually, if you don't want to see all of your students in this one view. The other thing that you have in here under that gradebook tab is the gradebook history. This is really helpful if you have other graders who are in your course and you want to see the changes that have potentially been made. So it's going to show you, Shane graded something in here earlier today. So it will show you if other people have graded, if you have TAs or co-teachers in there. It'll show you the score before, so if they change something, since you put in a grade, that would be reflected in here. So you're going to be able to see your full gradebook history. Now, I'm just going to go back. You've got a couple of different views, more than a couple of different views of your gradebook. You can choose to arrange it by all of these ways. So if you want to keep it in the default order, which is going to be when they were created, or maybe you want to arrange your gradebook by assignment name or point value or module. So you're going to teach your course by modules. Maybe that's how you want your gradebook to be organized. So you have all those different options in there. You can also apply this filter, which I really like, this module filter. So you don't have to look at all of your gradebook, because over time this is going to get pretty large. If you just want to look at one module at a time, then you can select that, right? So I don't have anything in my global navigation filter. So I don't want to look at my full gradebook. I can just pick to look at it one module at a time instead. You can choose to have a notes column. I'm going to go ahead and select that so you can see what that looks like. It's going to go next to the student's name. Only you or other graders can see it. So students can't see these notes, but again, you don't want to put anything in here because this is subpoenaable, so just recognize that. But if I needed to be reminded, like, hey, Aaron's on vacation, so that's why he's got some missing assignments, I would probably put a note like that in here. And other graders would be able to see it. The students cannot. Notice that all of my things that are unpublished, they are not counting toward the grade as yet. So you can also suppress those and not see them in your gradebook at all if you don't want to look at them. You can import into the gradebook from a CSV file. I don't think you're really going to need to do that. You can also export this to a CSV. Some people really like to do that. They just want to, they feel good that they've got a copy of it. Another action will appear here. That is going to be sync to Student Information System. So you can send your grades back. It's just not here yet, but this is where it'll live. You'll see a button to sync your grades to, what do you guys call it here? WINS? Yeah, to WINS. Over here, I've got more gradebook settings. I really like this one. If you have late policies in your course, you can click this and say automatically apply a grade for missing submissions. So if I did this and I said, right now, while students have something that's missing, they haven't turned it in yet, until they turn it in and I score it, it will calculate in their grade as a 0. I don't think that's a bad idea, they're going to get a more accurate depiction of what their grade looks like. So that's something that you can choose in there. You can also automatically apply a deduction to late submissions if that's something that you do. You can pick the percentage of points that you want taken off. So, I could say take off 5% for each day or hour. That's pretty harsh. For each day late, and the lowest possible grade is whatever you want to put in there. So that's going to be across all of your assignments, but you can set that in there. This is my, don't move, this is my total column right here. A lot of people like to move that to the front of their gradebook, so I just want to show you where that is. I can move that up there to the front so it's with the student's name. The reason why I see that bell with the line through it is just to remind me, hey, Aaron, you have muted some of your assignments. So the students aren't seeing that grade reflected yet because you've got things muted. And it's telling me it's this assignment here that's been muted. I can see all the students who have turned it in because they have the little indicator in there with a exclamation point letting me know that it's waiting for me to grade it. Anyone who hasn't turned it in has that line through it, so I can see that they haven't submitted it. And then once I've graded something through the speed grader, their grade will show up in here. I can also hand enter grades in here if I want or need to. So I could give students those points without ever going to the speed grader if I didn't want to. I can also exclude students. Come on. all right, I'll have to figure out what it is. It used to be EX, so I have to figure out what it is in the new grade book. There is an exclude. I'm going to take a note for you guys. For individual assignments, I can sort these by a grade or by if they're missing or if they're late. I also really love this feature right here, which is message students who. So this has 4 functions. Message students who haven't submitted yet, it knows who they are. This is going to go to these students as a Canvas inbox message. I can send them a message and let them know, like, hey, due date's coming up, can you please turn this in? There's also haven't been graded. Scored more than a given value, so I could say, show me all the students who got, or scored less than. Show me all the students who got less than a 5 or more than a 7. And so you could reach out to all the students who didn't do well with scored less than and say, hey, do you want to resubmit this one? Looks like you had a hard time with it. Or you could reach out to all the students who did a fantastic job with scored more than and say, great work on this. And it's just an easy way for you to be able to communicate with your students. You can curve grades. There's a default grade that you can set. So if you just wanted to give everyone the same point value, you could set that default grade. This assignment is muted, so I can unmute it from right here. I can also do it in the speed grader. And you can choose whether or not you want to enter grades as points or percentage. So the grade book, tons of functionality, lots of ways to use it. We're also seeing some different colors that are showing up in here. This is letting me know because that one is green that has been resubmitted. So you have different statuses in there. You can set what your colors are. So these are the defaults. So anything that's turned in late will show up in my grade book as blue. Missing is going to be red. Resubmitted is going to be green. But you can pick your own colors. Like, I don't think resubmitted being green makes a whole heck of a lot of sense to me. I would probably pick a different color because green to me means go. Dropped is going to be orange, and then excused is going to be yellow. But the big thing to remember is you don't have to manage the creation of any of your columns in here. You actually can't do it from this interface. It's going to just build it for you as you're creating the assessments in your course. Questions about the grade book? Okay. I want to show you how you set up a grading scheme. It's in settings. So how does Canvas know what I call an A? Like, how does it know what's a B in my course? So in the settings of my course, on course details, one of the things that you'll see is grading scheme, and you can enable a course grading scheme. So I'm going to click set grading scheme right here. I'm going to see what the default is. So this is currently the default. You can edit this and make it be whatever you want. So I could edit this and say, you know, for me, an A is, 100 to a 95. Maybe you don't use A minus, so you could get rid of that. So you can make this grading scheme be whatever you want for your course. I told the group yesterday, even if you wanted to create an emoji grading scheme where it's like pizza to unicorn, it would let you do that. But then Stacy pointed out that if you want the grades to go back to WINS, it has to be something that WINS can recognize. And WINS probably doesn't recognize pizza to unicorn as a grading scale. So I'm on the first tab, course details. And then I'm just going to scroll down a little bit and I'll see grading scheme. And I want to enable a course grading scheme. And then I get a link that says set grading scheme. You should probably give it a name too, because, or else all your grading schemes are going to be called default grading scheme. All right.